So if there's no trust, guess what? If somebody passes with just a will alone, a will does not avoid probate. Many times there could be assets that are in the decedent's name alone, and you have to open up probate. Sometimes employment benefits have to be paid to the estate. And if that's the case, then you have to open up probate. So the process begins. You could be conducting your trust administration at the first death or second death, and at the same time, you still have to open up a probate, and they can work simultaneously. But if you open up a probate, usually if you're doing a trust administration, there's a will or it's a pour over will. And the pour over will gets admitted to probate, but once the assets go through probate, it pours over and it gets distributed according to your trust. So these are for assets that are over 184.5, right? And so if that's a house, if that's a benefit, if it's life insurance, etc., the trust can pay to open up this probate. And then once you go through the probate process, then it's going to pour over and be distributed according to the trust. And so, what is this probate process? You have to lodge the will with the county in which somebody passes. Then you have to file a petition to open up probate. Then somebody gets appointed as the executor or the administrator. It's the executor in a will, the administrator if there is no will, and then they have to collect all the assets. All of the assets have to get appraised, and there's what's called an inventory and appraisal that gets done by a probate referee. And there are fees, of course, involved with this. You have to give notice to beneficiaries. And again, there's the probate code that has to be followed when you're going through the probate process. And that's where we step in and we assist and we do all of the legal work during the probate process. However, the executors do have to go to the banks, right? And they give what's called letters to say, oh, we now have control to put this asset that was in the decedent's estate into an estate account. So the whole process usually takes a year to 2 years. It's starting to get a little bit better during COVID. There was taking like 3 years to get through the probate process. You really want to try and avoid probate like the plague, is what I always say. So you're in charge of all of the assets. And then at the end of the day, when you close out the probate, it's because those assets are going to pour over and be distributed according to the trust. So if there were sub-trust of the main trust, they get distributed into the main trust. But nothing can really be distributed until everything's ready to close, because you could be doing an accounting, there could be a lawsuit where a beneficiary is claiming more interest or the trustee is misbehaving. So you can't piecemeal anything. Everything has to be done jointly and simultaneously.